Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meal. Okay, today we're going to make a beef coconut curry, which is a really simple dish. However, it has a lot of spices in it, which is one of the things that got my attention. The fact that it has a lot of spices does not make it difficult to cook. It just means you may not have some of the spices. You can probably get by with a subset of these, and if you curry, that would almost be enough. You just may have to increase the amount of curry. But some of these are fairly typical to have in a cupboard, so hopefully they will be suitable for you. I am going to start off by cooking the onion. This is an induction cooktop, so I'm going to heat it up slowly because this is a ceramic pan. I got it up to 5. I'm going to get it up to about 7.5, and I'm going to let it heat for just a minute, and then I'm going to add some olive oil. Now, I tend to use a lot of olive oil, but you could get by with probably less than that. That's about 2 tablespoons, but you can probably get by with 1. I'm going to add my onions. It's just an onion of your choice. That was a yellow onion that I chopped up. Chop it how you want. I just roughly chopped it. If you cut it lengthwise, it tends to cut down on the tearing that you'll get, but you'll have to decide that for yourself, how you want to cut it. All I'm going to do is let these cook a little bit. Not going to brown them or anything. I'm just trying to get them just a little translucent. And then I'm going to add my garlic. All right. In a couple minutes. That's getting a little color, so that's about right. Okay, now this is just a simple garlic press. It has a removable container for the garlic. I'm just going to put it in and press it. And I'm going to cut it into the mixture. Do the next one. Try and get a couple in there. I might be putting too much in there at one time. No, I think it'll work. And there we go. Almost had too much in there. Pierce. I could have done this in a little bowl separately, but I didn't. So, and the last 2 pieces. Okay, so there we go. There's our garlic. Now we want to mix that up, not let it overcook because it'll get bitter. Just cook it for 30 seconds or so, and that'll be fine. Just you start smelling the aroma of it really quickly. Now, I'm going to add a bunch of spices. I'm going to start out with curry powder, salt, and pepper, which I've mixed. Just get them in there, spread them around, stir them in a little bit. The aroma will be wonderful. I wish you could smell it. Now, the next thing I'm going to put in is coriander, paprika, and ginger. And the last thing we'll put in is cumin, turmeric, cinnamon, and cardamom. The recipe will give you the quantities. It's small amounts of each. Like I said, if you don't have that, you can probably increase your curry to make up for whatever you don't have. You just want to let this cook a little bit to get the spices to bloom. And then we're going to add the beef, which I've cut into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to mix it around in the onion to try and make sure that the beef gets as much of the spicing as it can. And so far, really, there's not much to this recipe. It's just throwing things in and mixing. I'll turn the temperature down to about medium now. And the next thing I'm going to do is add coconut milk. I just got regular coconut milk, unsweetened. But I usually shake mine up to try and get it mixed as well as possible before I open it. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. As you can see, it worked pretty well in here. Fat tends to rise to the top, depending which way you set the can. Shaking it up, you eliminate a lot of that. So there we have that. Okay, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I'm just gonna guess that's about 2 tablespoons. Be close enough. And now we'll mix the tomato paste in here real well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let this cook for 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to turn it down to low and just let the meat cook really slow so it'll be tender. Now you could move this to a slow cooker if you have one, and I do, but I figured I'd just do it in the pan because not everybody's going to have that. So I've mixed tomato paste in a bit. As it cooks, it'll mix a little bit more. Next thing I'm going to do is cover this. I'll probably check it again every 30 minutes or so to make sure it's all right. I'm going to go ahead and raise the heat up so it'll get to a boil quickly. Again, if you'll notice, this is a simple dish. Chop an onion, cut up some beef, add some spices, add a can of coconut milk, some tomato paste, garlic and onion. That's it. I think you'll find if you like curry, this is extremely flavorful. The spices are just extraordinary when you add them all together. Okay, it's boiling now, so I'm going to cut it down to simmer. I'm going to simmer it about 1.5, and I'll check it every half an hour, but we're going to cook it for 4 or 5 hours to let the meat become tender. Okay, it's been about 6 hours since I put this on. If you notice, it's mixed together pretty well. You notice it's thinned out a lot. That's because the onions gave up their juices and they're now pretty watery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken it up. To do that, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and add 2 tablespoons of water. And I'm going to mix them up. You need to use cold water, not hot water, otherwise it'll be lumpy. But if you use cold water and mix it up, it'll come together real well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in here and raise the temperature back up to its boiling, which will thicken the mixture. Using a cornstarch slurry is a pretty commonly used way to thicken a sauce when it is a little thinner than you planned. Now I've made a little saffron rice, and we're going to use that with this for the meal. Okay, that looks fine now. And I'm going to turn the heat off and let this cool a little bit. And then we're going to eat. It's really going to be a delicious meal. The rice is in with the meat and it's very tender. I hope if you try it and enjoy it, let me know. I'd really like to hear how your results are. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.